Friends, until now we have seen sentences which contain either the auxiliary verb or the modal verb. Now we'll take up sentences where the helping verb is not present. So when we are framing the question, the format of the question would be WH word followed by do or does or did depending upon the tense of the sentence, plus subject plus the base verb or the root verb plus the remaining part which is not underlined, ending with a question mark. For example, he went to Amritsar to visit the Golden Temple. This part of the sentence which is underlined tells us why he went to Amritsar. So, the WH word is why. The helping verb is not present. Sentence is in past tense. Why? Because the verb went is present and went is in past tense. So therefore, we have to assume the helping verb or auxiliary verb did, followed by the subject. The subject over here is he. Then comes the base verb, that is the root verb of went, that is go. Then the remaining part of the sentence which is not underlined, that is to Amritsar, followed by a question mark. So the WH question here for this sentence is, why did he go to Amritsar? Next example, the PM paid his respects at India Gate. The underlined part of the sentence tells us where the PM paid his respects. So therefore the WH word that is appropriate over here is where. Where paid is the verb and the verb is in past tense. That means sentence is in past tense. So we will assume did. So we will write did over here, followed by the subject. The subject is the PM. Now we'll use the base or root verb of paid, that is pay, P-A-Y, pay, followed by the remaining part which is not underlined, that is his respects, and the question mark at the end. So therefore the WH question formed is, where did the PM pay his respects? Next example, he begs for alms shouting loudly. The underlined part of the sentence tells us how he begs for alms. So therefore the appropriate WH word is how. The verb is begs, that is sentence is in present tense and the verb is ending with S. So the auxiliary verb is does, followed by the subject. The subject is he. We have to write the root verb of begs, that is beg, followed by the remaining part of the sentence which is not underlined, that is for alms, followed by the question mark. So our WH question is, how does he beg for alms? Rainwater raises the groundwater table. Now the underlined part tells us what the rainwater raises. So the appropriate WH word is what. Raises is the verb and it is in present tense. So therefore sentence is in present tense. It is ending with ES. So the auxiliary verb that we will assume is does, followed by the subject, that is rainwater. Now we'll use the root verb of raises, that is raise, followed by a question mark. So our WH question is, what does rainwater raise? Children play every evening in the garden. The underlined part of the sentence tells us where the children play every evening. So the appropriate WH word is where. Play. The verb tells us that the sentence is in present tense. Moreover, it does not end with S, IES or ES. So the implied auxiliary verb is do, followed by the subject, that is subject is children. Now we'll use the root form of play. The root verb of play is play, followed by the remaining part of the sentence, that is every evening, the remaining part that is not underlined. And at the end we put a question mark. So therefore the WH question is, where do children play every evening? Next example, trees give us a lot of benefits. The underlined part of the sentence tells us what trees give us. So therefore the appropriate WH word over here is what. Give is the verb and it tells us that the sentence is in present tense. It does not end with s, es or ies. So therefore the implied understood auxiliary verb is do. So we'll use do, followed by the subject, that is trees. Now we'll use the root verb of give, that is give itself, followed by the remaining part which is not underlined, that is us, and the question mark at the end. So our question, that is WH question, is what do trees give us? Friends, I hope you have learned how to frame a WH type question. Do share, like and subscribe. Thank you.